But okay, guys. Like those are the first two words, and it just mushes out of my mouth. All right, guys, we're going to talk about revisit this subject because I think it'll be an interesting subject based on more research. Yeah. Because I really don't like dietary trends, even though I'm a part of one, sort of. But I'm going to talk about what's up. We can talk about the carnivore diet. Look at this. This is some beef hearts. Yes, very soft and scrumptious. What's up, everyone? I gotta step back. All right, let me move this here tripod. What's up, everyone? How you guys doing on this lovely, lovely Monday? All right, guys, what is up? Are you guys ready for this? Beef hearts, yes. Yeah, she finally caught me live. You think I have to raise this darn thing? So hold on a sec, you guys. Let me raise this tripod. No, I'm not on the carnivore train. I thought I would just talk about it because it's such a hot button topic. I am not on the carnivore diet. I'm just killing it with keto. Just pretty much a carnivore diet. Hi from Atlanta. All right. What's up, Deborah? We got my mod in the house, so if there's any debauchery going on there, Deborah's going to handle it, and she can ask some questions, or Deborah, as my moderator, will also see the missed questions that I can't see, because questions move very quickly, and she will kind of let me know who asked a question or who donated to the super chat. What's up, Quentin? All right, guys, here we go. I'm going to go right into the carnivore diet and intermittent fasting. Now, the problem with the carnivore diet is people not knowing why they're doing it. Now, some people are getting why to do it, but a lot of y'all are like, oh my God, a new dietary trend I can get lean on. So, so here we go. Okay, I can't read stuff right now. I'll get distracted. Now, because I have this Facebook keto course group and I've been coaching forever, okay? I've done thousands of consultations and I've been doing this strict keto myself. I think the next live stream should be this stupid subject that, you know, people can't do it more than like a short term on keto, and I've been doing it for 10 years and I just keep getting better and more healthy. But here we go. I'm going to talk about this stuff. So here we got some lovely beef hearts. Now, beef hearts are so delicious, right? Look at this. It was $8.53 for almost 2 pounds, okay? So $8 for 2 pounds of beef hearts. Now, people get grossed out on the idea of organs, but as you can see, if I didn't say this was beef hearts and I just said it was just, you know, red meat, you wouldn't even blink. I could go cook it, saute it, put some lovely spice on it with butter, and you'd be like, it's so good. Now, beef heart is very soft and tender and juicy. It actually has the texture as if you've marinated it, and then when you spice it, it's just so good. Now, I'm not going to jump on the raw meat trend right now because I don't eat fresh slaughter. This was frozen and I will be cooking it later. So I'm not going to eat anything raw that I didn't go and get fresh right away. I also have here, you guys, we got, of course, you know, liver. So liver is, now I'm getting into the organ meats because I hit a wall of, now salmon I can tolerate, but I kind of hit a wall with all the other meats. I got all of the butcher box meats, which are great, but I just really wanted to get because, you know, I do a lot of research. I wanted to get on the organ, the organ meats on keto. Now, I had eaten organ meats as a child, but I don't even remember the taste. So here I am telling people to get on organ meats, and I wasn't eating it myself. So as soon as I start buying the organ meats, I can't stop. It's like everything, you know, tongue, kidney, heart, liver. But liver, you guys, is so, this is beef liver. And it's all grass fed. This is so, it's the most pound for pound nutrient dense organ out there. So this will always be my primary go-to organ meat. And it's the best one I could do. And if I want it right away and I don't want to wait for it to come in the mail. What's up, Jeffrey? Okay, so I'm going to put these both back, the beef hearts and the beef liver, because I don't want them to spoil. So hold on a sec, guys. What's up, Gary? What is up? Okay. Wash my hands. Okay, guys. Let's get this popping. We back? We back? We are back. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah. All right. Let me talk to you about the carnivore diet. Liver, Brittany, it tastes so amazing. So here's my experiment. So I'll go to the gym and I'll run into, the gym for me is like Cheers. You know what I mean? And so I talk to a lot of people there, and if we bring up nutrition, I'm like, yo, you got to get on the organ meats. And they're like, oh my God, I can't. And I just keep being behooved by the fact that people are so unhealthy and they won't try, especially organ meats are so cheap because nobody buys them. Everybody's going for the muscle meats. So I was talking to this guy in the gym. He's 24 years old. And we were talking about his diet. He's like, I just can't seem to grow. Like, he was kind of soft. He looked estrogenic but thin. You could see that he was trying to form muscle, but he didn't have well-formed muscle. He had severe dark circles and bags under his eyes. And I clearly see that he's not sleeping well. Now, he might be doing some narcotics as well. I don't know, because young people today, who knows what they're doing? But with that said, chicken liver and gizzards as well. But with that said, and obviously the feet and oxtail for the collagen. We were talking about organ meats. He was like, oh my God, I can't. I go, dude, you're a grown ass man, okay? My mother had 2 kids by the time she was 24 years old. You're a grown ass person, and you are turning your nose up at something that's going to make you feel better. Now, here's the irony of this story, you guys. He literally he was like, I was losing him at the end of explaining organ meats, what's in organ meats, the nutrient density. And he's like, I got to go. And I was like, why? He's like, I just feel dizzy and I feel sick. And he ran out and he never came back. And he literally looked sick, so he wasn't faking it. So the irony, you guys, is that we need to look at food differently. Now, I understand why people do the carnivore diet who learn about nutrition. So, and this is because, and I obviously think that people should do a keto version of the carnivore diet, which is almost the same thing. But, you guys, it's not a weight loss diet. People try to say that it's good to regulate insulin. My first video about doing a carnivore diet, the problem is that a lot of people don't do well-sourced meats. So people jump on trends, and I know that because I've worked with people who've done the carnivore diet, and I've worked with a gazillion people who've done keto, and they know that they should be eating better sourced foods, but they don't because they feel that it's too expensive. A lot of people don't understand. They just think an all meat diet. So a lot of people don't like organ meats. So if you're not going to eat organ meats and do a carnivore diet, what are you eating? You're eating what? Hamburger meat, some steak. Does it matter the kind of steak that you're eating? Yes, because we don't want lean cuts of meat, you guys. It's way more difficult to digest. It doesn't have as much as the fat soluble vitamins in it, and things like uric acid are higher in those types of meats. And that's what I was trying to preface. I did that video and I didn't think it out much this a couple months ago, and people were just hammering me like, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, now I do. Oh, thank you so much. Who we got? We got Irish Woman 45. Thank you so much for donating to the super chat, Irish Woman 45. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So let's get into the benefits of the carnivore diet and the risks involved, which are very linear to keto. Cornish hens, the eggs, the dark parts of the meat. But let me get into this carnivore diet, guys. Okay, how do I explain this? You guys are eating a lot of polluted food. And a lot of you guys are, and I, like, for so long, I was very, very nervous about telling people to eat less vegetables. And people are like, keto diet is a non-vegetable diet. And I would say, no, you can eat up to nine cups. And I would say this all the time because I've worked with people where their insulin would be regulated. They could have pretty decent blood glucose numbers by eating up to 9 cups of cruciferous or leafy greens. But I didn't consider the inflammatory responses, why people have thyroid issues. I was equating more thyroid to like caffeine or stress, a poor quality food before they did keto, and of course a dysbiosis of the gut. But I wasn't really factoring in mother's finest, right? We are herbivores, and we do need to, yay, Irish woman, exactly. We do need to be able to eat plant source foods, but the amount is negligible. So the reason why I'm starting to understand how particular people do the carnivore diet is because the enormity of people who've got health problems, including histamine intolerance. So on my course page, okay, Steph, focus. On my keto course Facebook page, which it's a subscription-based, awesome course page, so many people have problems with vegetables, and so many people have problems with bloat. Like, we'll do talks on your stool quality, your bloat, like we pretty much break down the foods, including spices, and go, what are you reacting to? So many people have issues with plants, and I started saying, hey, how about we take out the 9 cups for a week and add it back in, and we'll rotate, right? Because you still want to have the ability, because your body will try to fight inflammation. It will try to digest these things, even though they're difficult to digest or they're undigestible. And so I was afraid to say, like, even say 1 week on and one week off. Like up this stream, guys. Keishel says like up the stream. There's 110 people in here and 32 likes. So you guys, liking up the stream helps bring more visibility to my streams. And as you can see, I haven't even hit 100,000 subscribers yet. I've been doing this for 10 years on the internet. So I've got to break through all of the minutiae and all of the promises of weight loss and, oh, these diets are so amazing, because I just go and tell you guys the truth. Thank you so much, Noel Macy. Thank you so much for the tenor donating to the super chat. Thank you for appreciating the content. And if we can get the likes up, I know that I probably attracted some people because of the subject that I'm titled, and you guys are kind of on the fence if you want to like up the stream. But after a while, if you guys feel like you dig what I'm saying, don't forget to like up the stream. Okay, so now I understand. If you read more about hunter-gatherer societies, if you try to understand more about gut biome, the gut biome plus your digestion and motility, when you start learning more about that and start to understand how foods have been hybridized and genetically altered or genetically modified, you start to really put together all these pieces, as with for the autoimmunity everybody is developing, and dysbiosis of the gut and things like autism or depression, things of this nature. So so essentially, I don't think people know why they gravitate to, or why I'm so kind of obsessed with the organ meats now, because once I tried it, I just can't stop. Like, give me all of the organ meats, the gizzards, the friggin' chicken liver, the beef liver, the hearts, the kidneys, the tongue, give it to me all. And when you crave it, you realize how nutrient deficient you are. So plants, as a lot of you guys who follow me already know that plants have anti-nutrients in them. So they have some species of plants have salicylates, some have oxalates, goitrogens, nightshades, lectins, and phytates. And these are all anti-nutrients so that the plant can survive. Now, trying to tell somebody this who eats a regular diet, like, they ain't listening to it. They're like, I don't got time for this. Like, it just becomes like a jumbled of words in their mind, and they don't want to listen. They want to know what bar they can eat, what packaged food they can eat that's healthy. So right now, I know there's a lot of question marks there on this person, but right when I talk, I don't answer any questions when I'm creating a presentation, because people on the replay get freaked out if I answer questions while trying to explain the topic. So yes, you guys, don't forget to like up the stream. We still have 125 people here and only 65 likes. So if you guys don't mind liking up the stream, that would be epic. Now, so because I have this course group and so many people have just issues, so I'm like, okay, why don't we take out, pale stool, floating stool, food in the stool, gas, like so horrible sleep. I was like, why don't we just take out vegetables for a week and see what happens? Now the people that, and then we would catch up the following week and see what the results were. Every single person's like, I feel so much better. I feel so fabulous. And I was like, so cut them all out? What about the antioxidants, right? What about the fiber for those who've got constipation issues, the prebiotic fiber? Thank you so much, Michael Clark. So thank you. So Michael Clark, I really wanted to watch this stream. He's in this course page, and homeboy can't eat anything literally without having some type of reaction. Michael, it's time to say goodnight to the vegetables. Bye-bye. Cut them out. You're going to cut them out, Michael. They're gone. Don't consider a keto carnivore. Get on it yesterday. Now. Okay, right now, because the more that I study what has happened, not more that I study biology and environments and how hunter-gatherers ate, the problems with the autoimmunity today, and then I'm actually experimenting with people, it's black and white. You need to cut it out. So essentially, as omnivores, we would eat anything if we're starving. But our main source of food always has to be animal meat or anything from the animal, because plants only grow in season and they're not made in a monocrop. You can't just go to a field, a crop of food when you're starving. Things oxidize, other predators eat it. You don't have just this bountiful accessibility to plants if you were to be a hunter-gatherer. So you must rely on animal protein or animals or even insects, anything that's going to give you a sense of nutrition. So plants are often more like antioxidants. So as this woman that I've been watching, especially today, this Dr. Natasha, you guys might have heard of her. I just love this woman because she's blunt. She doesn't have time to like soften it. She speaks a language that I can understand. And she was saying that plants clean the body, but they don't give you nutrition. And you start thinking about certain things like, spirulina and chlorella and cilantro and things like chelators that will pull toxins out of you. And it starts making more sense. Licorice and all these types of herbs that are really about kind of helping organs that are under distress be able to detoxify. Now, plant source foods can give you some sorts of nutrition, but in actuality, a lot of them have so many anti-nutrients and not enough of the nutrition to kind of build, to repair cells and to preserve the cell, and the turnover of cells that happen every X amount of days. I think it's every 90 days or something that the cells must turn over. You don't want cellular death because that's the shortening of your DNA. So, okay, don't read stuff. Let me get this subject out because I'm going to also hit the intermittent fasting. So now I get it. People do well on a carnivore diet when they have histamine intolerance so bad that the sensitivity of plants, they just can't handle it. So think about this, you guys. This can start, okay, you guys know I'm turning 51. That's coming around the corner, like next month. That's in a couple days, actually. And my mother, I think antibiotics came at the end of the 1930s, right? So my mother was, and vaccinations came a little bit later, but my mother started to, and things like birth control, anything that destroys your gut flora, and like, pesticides, anything that would denature the soil and actually add chemicals and destroy our gut flora. So my mom was probably exposed to some toxins. Definitely, I remember growing up, my mother smoked cigarettes and did stupid things, which, and a lot of people in my generation, mothers actually fed their children soy because it was touted as so healthy and all of this. So at this juncture, so then my immune system is going to be compromised to some varying degree because it started with her. And then if I had a child, the generation of my child's gut flora is going to be compromised. And every generation, you can see how epigenetics has played a role in just damaging your gut biome. So babies are sterile inside of the gut, right? They're sterile. And then, yes, I'm a Virgo. So then, when you're born, babies take a gulp of the mother's vaginal bacteria. If that's loaded in parasites and fungi and it's totally bad bacteria growing and low bacteria, it's going to give your child some of the bacteria that it needs. Please stop texting me. It's completely covering my screen. Okay, here we go. Sorry guys, I'm getting like a barrage of text and it literally just takes out my screen. So if you're born with not enough gut biome, if you're not breastfed and then you don't get a nice gulp of good bacteria, then you guys are already having issues. So this is histamine intolerance, and a lot of you guys have histamine intolerance and don't even realize it. You have leaky gut, you have small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and so if you have these things on blast, see, we all have a little bit of it. Like even if you're seem to be healthy, we're all gonna have levels of parasites and fungus and all this kind of stuff. We're gonna have it. Okay. If you go to the park and you drink from the faucet, it's gonna have all types of stuff that destroy your gut flora. But I digress. So now I understand why some people will do the carnivore diet and they're like, I feel so much better, because unfortunately, when you damage the small intestine, and for some of you, even the large intestine, trying to digest indigestible foods, which are plant foods, sorry guys, it's a mess. It's a mess. People don't feel well. They have rheumatoid arthritis. They have osteoarthritis. They've got ghost pains. They've got fibromyalgia. It's these anti-nutrients in the plants for racking you up, and I'm not kidding. And people don't want to change, so they'll be like, I feel fine. And you look at them, and their tongue is yellow, and their eyes aren't clear, and they've got broken blood vessels around their nose, and their face is, you can see like dark circles and lines appear, and they look like a Shar-Pei in the face, and they look bloated in the body, and they swear that they feel okay. Put a nightshade over my computer screen. Well, I don't have a nightshade to present right now. So, and I'm on my phone. So with that said, so you eat these foods. So let's say you grew up on wheat and soy and cheese and dairy from sick animals and poor quality water and all this kind of stuff. And 2 generations back, you don't have a good balanced gut biome. You start to develop sensitivities to food, but you don't even know it. And then our soil is so demineralized, so our soil's been raped. Totally. Like, food grows on it because they put manure on it, but they just clear out fields. Animals aren't pooping on the soil, and because their poop, especially if they eat a good diet, their poops have nice microbes to enrich the soil. So we're just, there are probiotics in our soil, but not on these monoculturalized plant source stuff, and people don't do well on it. So I've always been really insecure or uncomfortable to talk about the vegan diet because they they will troll you and troll you and troll you and troll you and troll you. And I was like, I don't need that. But I think at this juncture, working with so many people and learning more about how plants really destroy you, is that, you guys, it's not that you should cut out your plants, but if you have any of these symptoms, guys, testosterone, your free is too low, women, you're estrogen dominant, you've got polycystic ovarian syndrome, you have thyroid issues, your hair is falling out, you can't sleep, your prostate's growing, like you've got a white tongue, you've got constant yeast infections, you have vaginosis, you've got itchy bunghole. Like, these are the things that people have. They've got acne and all kind of weird stuff. Now, part of the problem really is like the dairy from sick cows, so that also compacts the issues with plant source foods. A lot of people don't even understand this whole gluten-free phenomenon. They just go, oh, gluten-free, oh my God, it's supposed to be so fabulous. Because I live here in LA. So the thing is that people are like, wheatgrass and spirulina and kale shakes and all this nonsense. So I had a client this morning and she has issues. They all have issues. They all do. And she's like, I love kale. I eat it all the time. And so we discussed that she has thyroid symptoms. I said, cut that kale out right now. She's like, how should I cut out my kale? It's so good for you. I'm saying to her, no, see, at one point they started feeding kale to pigs because they thought it would be a great superfood. And then these pigs started to develop thyroid issues on kale. So they had to stop feeding their pigs kale because you don't want to have thyroid diseased pigs that you're eating. So these types of cruciferous vegetables very much so can block iodine from getting into the thyroid to make your thyroid hormone. And people are just chomping on the green shakes and the salads all day, every day. If I were there's 145 people in this chat. If I had a chance to talk to you all face to face, I could tell you what's wrong. Because you can see it now. Like, one of my friends, he's got blotches all over his skin. And this is like 2 years ago, we started talking. I go, what are you eating? He's like, I eat salads every day. And I was like, maybe you should not eat salads every day. He's finding food in his stool. You guys have food in your stool, floating stool, a ton of gas, you have bubbly pee, you're losing proteins. You have low HCl levels in your stomach. You're not, the bacteria in your intestine is just, the bad bacteria is just exploding. You guys crave sugar specifically. And often it's those nasty fungus microbes that are craving the sweets. It's not you. Depression, because the leaky gut, the immune response to the holes in the gut wall it's like a tsunami to your body. And the thing is, you guys, we're like cockroaches. We can literally gut our bodies and still live. And these are the subjects no one talks about. People have no energy. They have such poor issues pooping, and the quality of their stool is awful. The smell is awful. Guys, a lot of you have testosterone issues. You're balding more now than ever before. People have stress on their face. You can see it, right? Liver, kidneys, like intestine, like you can see it on people's face. So yes, the carnivore diet is amazing for those who have literally, remember like 2-3 generations back, haven't had a good start in life with poor gut biome, gut bacteria, gut flora. For those who have better and stronger immune function with their gut biome, you don't have to cut out the veggies, but you want to be more conscious and aware of the amount that you can cut it down. People think that they need all these plant source foods for the fiber, but if your gut biome, like if your mother had perfect balanced gut flora and you took that gulp before you are vaginally birthed, you wouldn't need fiber because we don't digest it. You see, it comes right through you. It's not a food. Plant source foods don't give you really nutrition, right? They're helping more detoxify the body and give you antioxidants for your immune function, but you're not gaining nutrition. A lot of people don't understand if you're eating a lot of plant source foods and not getting enough protein. It's not that you're getting the protein from the plants. Your body's getting the protein from its own body through gluconeogenesis. So if your body has to rob from amino acids to find homeostasis, you don't look well. And that is the reason why I, at 51, still look like this, right? Full, natty, menstrual cycle every month, quality of skin on point, because I protect my adrenal glands, which I'll get into that. The obsession with me protecting my adrenals, because the closer I get into menopausal age, these adrenals that sit right here need to work perfectly to keep my muscles when the ovaries stop working. So our body is this perfect balance and symphony of things that you have to do, and nobody is willing. I retract. Most of you are not willing to do everything it takes to go against the societal brainwashing that we've experienced about foods. Fat's bad for you. Fat's going to give you a heart attack. You know, people are like, I want to see your cholesterol panels. Just stupid, ignorant comments. It's dumb. Oh, and people are constantly drinking from protein shakes and branched chain amino acids from powder that's this weird colors and chemicals added, chelators added. So, for those with extreme histamine intolerance, yes, a keto version of the carnivore diet would be amazing. And now I understand why some people are like, it's so fabulous! Because they have issues with the anti-nutrients in plants on the highest degree. And then some of you are borderline, you never feel good, you're always tired, and you don't know, and you have migraines, and a lot of you don't know that that's coming from the plants that you're eating, or just poor source foods in general, or the standard American diet, or grains, or dairy from sick cows. I would say for those out there that have the black and white symptoms of floating stool, allergies, seasonal allergies, allergies to dander and pets and dust, and people who have constipation, chronic and gas, and pale stool and greasy stool and bubbly pee, I would do an experiment. I personally would do an experiment to flush those out for a week to see how you feel. If you guys have acne, if you have rosacea, if you have eczema, if you have shingles, guess what? You probably are very highly sensitive to the anti-nutrients in plants, and then all the toxins in our environment, like the pollution and pesticides and preservatives, just exacerbate the problem and compact it and then make the levee break. So yeah, in this case, the carnivore diet is amazing. Now, there's a few people that like to eat raw meat and drink the blood from animals, and I'm sure that has some nutritional benefits. That raw meat is not as tough as, nobody eats it, especially in the first world economy countries. Nobody eats just raw. It's not common. So people have this idea that you need canines to like shred through meat. But a lot of the things that you guys don't understand is that as hunter-gatherers, we ate organ meat, which is really soft. It's not tough meat to chew through. You wouldn't just go for the leanest cut of muscle meat to chomp on because the nutritional benefits are really low. What people don't understand is that there is more vitamins and minerals in the fatty bits of the animal than fruit and vegetables combined 100 times because of the fiber in plant source foods. So more fiber, less nutrient density, and which is why they say that plant source foods aren't really a source of like making you healthy, because if you ate only plants, you would be devoid of certain fat soluble vitamins you need for cell repair, and you would be devoid of hemoglobin. So when I was younger, I had heavy menstrual cycles, heavy bleeding, probably because of the standard American diet I was on, and I was pushed to eat more red meat and more rare red meat, which instantly raises your hemoglobin levels. And if I didn't have the accessibility to that, I could take these iron pills. Thank you so much, Ted Chappell. Thank you so much for the tenor and donating to the super chat. So, I have 164 people here looking but not liking the stream. So when people are donating to super chat, I just really appreciate the acknowledgement, because I'm trying, you guys. Like, I just research and coach and work with people and talk with people, experiment on myself as well. You guys, I don't necessarily want to, I'm not going to talk about hormone replacement therapy right now, because you guys know I'm not a supplement pusher. If we literally minimized and ate more seasonally our cruciferous vegetables and ate less of plant source foods and not raw, unfortunately, because raw has those anti-nutrients, and the fibers that really people have a hard time to digest are just agitating your digestive tract plus your intestine. So, does the carnivore diet has its benefits? Yes, but I would rather have you guys do and I hate to put them together, but a ketogenic carnivore marriage, especially for those who cannot handle plants, where you have to go full carnivore and not omnivore. We are omnivorous mammals, so we can have the ability to eat both. But remember, we're eating monoculturalized plants. A lot of you guys do not do full organic. Even with organic produce, the soil is demineralized and denatured. So the plant is denatured. So now you're eating plants high in their defense, but with not enough nutrition, right? Or things to help heal the body. And then we're eating tons of it, because in our brain, we're always told how many vitamins are in plants. And so people are like, I'll eat salads and I'll do green drinks. And all this stuff is so bad for your histamine response. Your body just inflames when you're eating too much plant source foods. Then you guys become afraid of red meat. I don't know where the red meat scare came in. So if people don't want to eat red meat, then they're not going to eat the organ meats. It's like the organ meats are the darker red meats. Guys, liver is the huge superfood organ, because you can even get a huge supply of vitamin C to avoid things like rickets from the liver, especially raw liver. So when you're eating, like, say, an orange, it's been modified. It's been altered. It has a ton of fructose. Fructose is horrible for the body, right? We'll never be at zero with our blood sugar, because we can always provide enough glucose for our red blood cells through gluconeogenesis, which we go through all the time. So when people do like a carnivore diet or a ketogenic diet, or a marriage between the two, which is eating high fat with protein and cutting out the anti-nutrient veggies. The thing is that people are afraid that they won't have enough blood sugar for their red blood cells to help heal the thyroid, but you totally do. That's not the problem with you. Thyroid people out there who are so afraid of not getting enough glucose for the thyroid, and that's why some idiots say, oh no, go eat carbs every couple of weeks on a ketogenic diet, which will just send your pancreas into the weirdest, in the hypothalamus, into the weirdest crazy roller coaster ride, which in the end makes your blood sugar rebound and create more thyroid issues. So you either do the carnivore keto thing properly, or you do carbs. And if you do carbs, RIP, okay? Because you ain't gonna live a good life if you just straight doing a lot of plant source foods for the glycogen storage. So, intermittent fasting, same thing. Some people do well at first on an intermittent fasting diet because what? They cut out all those plants. The enormity of them, or they cut out, people who are doing, because like there's 165 people in this chat, so a lot of you guys have never done keto and you just are curious and you saw the stream and you jumped on. And so most people do intermittent fasting for weight loss benefits, but all you do is completely destroy your adrenal system and your thyroid, and unfortunately could go to pregnenolone steal, which pregnenolone is the master hub ship hormone, and DHEA, and it's this branch, this sort of tree branch progression to your estrogen, 3 estrogens, progesterone, and testosterone. And so when cortisol is high, it will rob from your reproductive hormonal chain, and then women become estrogen dominant, because we can make estrogen in our fat cells, like without relying on our ovaries. But the imbalance between estrogen and progesterone is so massive that, and then a lot of women can't poop, is that the estrogen becomes reabsorbed into the bloodstream and ends up in the liver and the gallbladder. And that's why you see all these issues primarily with women over men. Men end up having more cardiovascular issues, and women tend to have more, breast cancers and type of cancers like cervical cancers, and have issues with their thyroid and their blood sugar and their insulin resistance and their polycystic ovarian syndrome and their rheumatoid arthritis and their PCOS and their fibromyalgia. You see that quite commonly with women. So I'm about to talk to you guys, about to sit down. So of course, if you're not eating as many of these plant source foods and you intermittent fast, you might feel a relief. I hope that this stream is not scuffed and stuttering. So let's hope that it stays clear. But ultimately in the end, if you're not using ketones and you're just not eating enough food because you have this obsession with fasting to get thin, you're forgetting that this is a nice biological system that needs energy from somewhere. And the problem is that a lot of you guys who intermittent fast don't just rest. You'll go intermittent fast and go run or go to the gym, and you're just burning through your amino acids. Like you're literally gutting your immune system. Like if you have poor gut biome flora and you've got small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and your sleep is poor and your cortisol's inverted and all, then you're toxic, and then you try to fast, then if you eat healthy and fast, then eating healthy, your body has great detoxification pathways. It can methylate. Even if you got the double or single gene MTHFR gene mutation, it can learn how to still methylate as best as it can, because a lot of you guys have this gene mutation. But even if you have something in your family like heart disease or cancers, prostate, breast cancer, cervical cancer, fibroids, I don't think endometriosis is one, but fibroids is very common. Like most women have them, they just don't grow out of control. Can heal from autoimmunity just by switching up their lifestyle, switching up their posture, switching up the way that they breathe, the timing of their foods, the circadian rhythm, and just eating really clean, well-sourced foods. You wouldn't need to fast and put that body under stress, because if you're not eating, the brain's used to glycogen or ketones. Ketones don't become available without this of eating fat. So you eat fat, you learn how to convert ketones into the diet first. It will create ketones. If you eat a fatty meal and test your blood ketones, they will spike exponentially. Some people will wake up in the morning and have ketones under 1. They have ketones at a 0.7, and then they go later in the day and test 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon after they've had fat, and they see that it's higher. But I always say to people, that's the subjective number, because we want the sweet spot of ketones fasted in the morning, because that's when you've slept and you haven't eaten anything, because your body's burning body fat. Yeah? So to conclude this and get to your guys' questions, the carnivore diet done in a ketogenic style is amazing. So that means a lot of fat. You still keep your fats up real high. That will also help with people who've got constipation issues and more reliant on fiber. So people are taking psyllium husk and flax and all these types of things to poop. It's and what is it? Suppositories and things of this nature. These things are so bad for you. They're so bad for the wall of your colon. You guys don't even know that these fibers are not supposed to be eaten in the enormity that we eat them in. So intermittent fasting, I'm always against it because you can detoxify without damaging the system, that delicate system between the hypothalamus and adrenal axis. A lot of you guys have problems with your insulin and glucagon regulation, so you can't keep your blood sugar stable. That's why a lot of you guys have chronic hypoglycemia or insulin, physiological insulin resistance, the rebound, or just high insulin resistance. And even if you eat nothing, and even if you, people are like, if you do intermittent fasting, it's going to lower your insulin. I was like, bro, you need to learn more. If you're going 100 miles an hour and your body needs some source of energy and it doesn't know yet how to make and use viable ketones, because that's a process, it takes a long time, then your body's going to digress to what it knows, which is glucose from being a modern human, and it will start breaking down your muscle and your skin and your collagen in 3 minutes, honey, to get its insulin back up. And you can have diabetic high numbers. That's why they've got a physiological insulin resistance rebound response. You can have high freaking glucose and insulin numbers from fasting. Okay? All right? Learn, you guys. Get the glucometer and test your blood sugar. Watch it happen. First couple weeks, everything balances, right? Oh, my insulin went down, my A1C went down, and then your body rebounds because you're not using ketones. And if you're not using ketones, you're not using glucose, then the body's going to make some glucose because it's going to make that fast. And then you start burning through your amino acids, and then you start going through cortisol problems because now your body's constantly raising its cortisol to keep its blood glucose high, and then your insulin stays high. That's just the way it works. So people thinking they can just fast and then drop their insulin and then be healthy are delusional. Go get a glucometer and test yourself for a year doing that. You won't last long because you'll get so sick from not getting enough electrolytes in and not enough nutrient-dense foods in, because your motive for doing it really is to drop body fat when you just literally drop muscle. Okay, so the motives are wrong. And if you're going to intermittent fast, you must do nothing. Because if you do something, you're going to go into hypergluconeogenesis, which is a cortisol response from the adrenals. And the adrenals get tired of doing that. They get exhausted. So does the pancreas. So stop trying to cut your way into health. Like, why don't people go to bed early? Why don't they get away from screens? Why don't they learn how to diaphragmatic breathe? Right? I tell people, they're like, what kind of exercise? Should I do CrossFit? I'm like, no, do some Tai Chi. Because it's all about the core and breathing, right? You're not static. So you're not doing yoga where you hold a position. You're actually still using the muscle. But you're able to control your breath and still do sliding filaments in the muscle, doing Tai Chi. Because some of you guys have adrenal fatigue so bad. And then you've got poor gut motility, and you've got low stomach acid, and you've got poor gut biome. Don't intermittent fast. That one's just dumb. People do it, I realize, because less food means less inflammation from the plants that they're eating and poor source meats, right? And the carnivore people, I get it. I definitely think that there's a section of our population that should do a carnivore / keto diet. That means keeps the fats high, so you're not eating lean meats, which can be a burden to your kidneys. You guys, you eating lean meat, the meat has to be broken down, and so it can be filtered through the kidneys. And eating lean meat is just pure protein, so that's a stress to the kidneys. What you guys don't understand is, like, you know, we just don't chew our food enough. Like a freaking, I know we're not a cow, so I'm sorry, but a cow is going to be like, chew, chew. They chew, chew, chew. They swallow, regurgitate, chew some more, swallow. No, we can't swallow and regurgitate because we're not a cow. But they chew, chomp on something 200 times. I watch people chew like 2.5 times and swallow. This is going to lower your HCl levels like that. And then your whole immune defense goes to the toilet because you need high acid. Right? Acid reflux is not high acid. Acid reflux is low acid. Right? And the body squeezes that acid up to try to raise the acid levels. You feel it here. That's from low acid, not high. So your stomach acid is the barrier to pathogens. So cows have bacteria to break down plant source foods. They've got 4 stomachs. They chew 200 times, and we don't. Yet we still think that sprouted grains and eating rice and eating oats, which has no nutrition in it, it's just a pure starch. We keep thinking that these grains are good. Then we don't even pay attention to the quality of dairy. Like, these cows are Frankenstein cows, these A1 cows that are all black and white, and they're bred to produce more milk, and their bodies get friggin' used to eating corn. In fact, so they have like a grazing grass and corn diet. They need all of this, what is it, the calories, even though calories kind of don't matter. They need all of that corn to keep creating the production of milk, because they are bred to eat corn. But they're so sick, their life is very short. They slaughter the cow before it dies of the toxicity from corn and antibiotics and steroids to the meat. They die, and then they ship it off to your supermarket, and that's what you be eating. So you guys really need to think about the dairy. Now, if everybody could eat A2 grass-fed butter, that'd be amazing. So most of us don't have the accessibility to that. I do here in Cali. So we try to just get grass-fed. And, but the rest of that dairy, those whey shakes that you drinking, that cream you drinking, putting in your coffee, that cheese that has all the casein in it. Okay, guys, I'm going to sit down, take your questions, and then I'm going to go. So we got 161 people and 121 likes. Can we get more likes up in the stream, guys? Let's get this, because this girl is exhausted. If you knew what I had to do in these 24 hours, you'd be like, why is this girl streaming? So let's get this going. Okay, let me see here. What did I miss? I see so many comments going on. You've been eating keto, carnivore. So eating keto, carnivore would be keeping your fats high, so you can get, you can create more ketones and also not overburden the kidney. That's why I call it keto carnivore. For those who say 100% grass-fed and organic. Okay, I've been eating keto carnivore for several months. Protein 50 60 grams, organ fat or muscle, 200 grams of animal fat. You should probably, oh, Elia, yeah. I feel good, but want to transition back to veggies. Nope. It was not Elia. This is Elisa. Nope, Elisa. Nope. Don't transition back. You need a long time to heal that gut wall. You are not ready. And even if some people just like, well, I don't want to lose all ability to eat plant source foods that are to be able to tolerate the anti-nutrients, but I would not. Okay, I'm assuming the eggs are in the carnivore diet. Yes, but be careful, Tristan, because the whites of the eggs are pretty hyperallergenic to a lot of people. So the fetus, the baby feeds on the protein, the white. But unfortunately, it's a kind of a defense protection mechanism for the fetus. Oh, I better plug my battery in, it's gonna die. Hold on a second, guys. Make sure this does not die. Subscribe, newbies, for great content. Yes, you guys, don't forget to subscribe also to my YouTube channel. I try to go live every 2 days if I have time to do it. And I do a lot of research, so it could be advantageous for you. I still feel tired after I should lower my veggies. Share me? Share what? Well, you could be tired for a lot of reasons. So that, I would need more data on that one. It's not just the vegetables. I mean, that's adrenal overload too. Or thyroid, or you're not absorbing your B12 or your B complex. SIBO overgrowth. Well, ox bile. No, don't. If you guys don't have a gallbladder problem, don't use ox bile. You're adding more bile salts, gives people stomach aches, turns their stool loose sometimes. You only need to take ox bile if you suspect a gallbladder sludge, stones, or an infection, potentially. That's the only time you need to touch it. If you have a functioning gallbladder, then focus on your HCl levels, because that's probably the problem, and leaky gut. So getting the gut biome to be balanced, and then that will make your stool stop floating, is to fix the leaky gut. Okay, what do you recommend to eat in a day for starters? That's so much work. You gotta reroute that question. Okay, how would I know? me see. How would I know to do a keto or carnivore diet version? Monique, that's a great question. It's if you did a carnivore diet, you should only really go full carnivore. You should probably eat less vegetables on a ketogenic diet and focus more on high quality meats, especially organ meats, because that is what I'm pushing right now. High quality fats, and we're animals, we are not vegetables. So we have very similar digestive tracts, not in the size, like our intestine is completely longer than a dog, but the way that we extract and use the nutrients from food is very similar to a dog. So when you guys have this obsession to want to get like nuts and seed oils and plant source foods as your sustenance must come from animal fat. Your sustenance must come from animal fatty protein and not lean, because lean is going to put a burden on your kidneys. And we didn't eat lean meats in the wild unless we were starving. And we didn't hunt after chicken breast. Always had a huge appetite, and I'm having harder time finding things to fill it. Irish woman, 30, 40. It's because you're just eating the wrong foods. You know, I don't know if you've done keto. I don't know what you've done. But often when people do keto and get their fats over 200, they're not hungry. And you could be hungry just because you're not absorbing your nutrients. So look in the toilet, see if your stool is floating. That'll be an indication of not getting enough nutrition, and that might make you hungry. But if you get your fats high enough, you'll be good. Let's see here. What about high dose of fish oil? No, it will thin your blood out. Like, that's not good for your body. You don't do high doses of fish oil. You know, you got to be careful, guys. You can't do too much of anything that's too much. Let's see, what about falling out, insomnia. So insomnia, a lot of you guys are connected too much to, you're out of the circadian rhythm, you don't go to bed, you don't diaphragmatic breathe. There's a ton of stuff that you're doing that's making, like, you don't have enough minerals, you don't have enough electrolytes, you don't have enough water. Like, there's literally about 80 things that you're doing wrong to develop insomnia, inverted cortisol, all of these types of things. And so you have to address your pre-sleep hygiene and your day stress and your ability to detoxify, like poop. Well, let me get this last thing she said. It's good quality, have positive ANA test, been taking 20 grams of EPA DHA and have seen improvement. Thoughts? Josh? No? I don't know more. You're giving me like a couple sentences and you're like, thoughts. I can't have thoughts on something I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what your diet was before. I don't know what's going on with your gut wall. I don't know if you're malabsorptive. I don't know. I just don't know. You guys, we're primarily made out of monounsaturated fats, which don't have the DHA to EPA conversion. So to have only fatty fish, I would beg to say that you might, with damage, right? I'd beg to say to go and diversify your meats more. And you're taking fish oil, and what's the quality, who made the oil itself. I'm glad that you've seen improvements. I don't know what the improvements were. Let me see. Can you tense your calves, please? James, I think you do this all the time. That's a never. I will never clench my calves. So I'm the wrong channel for you, brah. Okay, see. Should we eat every 4 hours? Karen, if you have like hypoglycemic symptoms, yeah. You eat like 3 meals and about 3 fat loads. Jeff Bullock talks about leaky gut. I don't know. I mean, I can assume because I haven't heard him talk about leaky gut, but most of us have it. So if you're trying to do a ketogenic diet and you have leaky gut, you're not absorbing your new fat-soluble vitamins or the fats, then that might compromise your keto adaptation. So you must address the gut first. Plus, the leaky gut, most of us have it, and it's destroying our health. We can't sleep, we have insomnia, people can't reproduce, their immune system is low, people have depression, they have all types of weird stuff because of their gut wall. And that's, you guys, our gut is 85% of our immune system. So if it's compromised, if you got leaky gut, then that's the thing you got to fix. If you've got all these other diseases, that's going to be the central thing that you must address first before, like, you know, I'm going to take some Synthroid and some Armor and some Thyroxine for my thyroid. see here. Okay. Oh, your thyroid is causing your severe hair loss. It's either that or you're bleeding too much and you have low iron. But 9 times out of 10, it's because your thyroid. And that just tells me, who was that? What's your name again? Let me see. So fatty meats, butter, avocado. Fatty meats, butter, beef tallow, duck fat, lard really is the top one that we really should be consuming. We have to make sure that our butter is of high quality because, like I just talked about, that sick cow thing. I don't know what FMD is, so sorry. So eat fatty meat, butter, avocado, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You eat fatty organ meat. And you can eat lard and beef tallow and, pork fat and lamb fat. Not just butter. Yeah, 3 meals a day. And of course, you can eat plants of the cruciferous type. I prefer that you cook them because the anti-nutrient issue. Best thing to eat for breast cancer prevention, flaxseed? No. Like, see, Jenny, that is, you've heard like catchphrases like, I'll eat flax seeds. Why would you eat flax seeds? Because they're phytoestrogen, because they're going to lower your estrogen. That's not going to lower your estrogen on its own, and that's still just a theory and not a proven fact. Worth visiting though. But dealing with breast cancer, you need to learn how to get all of the toxic food out. And dare I say, I love me some Gerson therapy, but you need to cut out them plants. That is straight up drinks and shakes are straight up sugar. So fasting mimicking diet, yeah, well, in the sense that sort of a ketogenic carnivore diet or just ketogenic, it sort of mimics fasting because you are not dependent on glycogen. Okay, thoughts on carbonated drinks? Patricia, get rid of them. They don't leach calcium out of your bone, but you're not hydrated. I mean, every once in a while, but soda water, carbonated water, never soda, ever. Okay, it's not just keto that cures your thyroid. That doesn't cure your thyroid. Let's not get this. People don't understand. Well, keto fixed cancer. Well, keto fixed my thyroid. Well, keto fixed my low testosterone. Here's one myth I'm going to bust right now. It's not keto that does it. It's all of the changes that you have to make in your life to keto adapt. People are like, what time should I go to bed? I'm like, 8:30, 9. I can't do that. Well, you've got Hashimoto's, you've got lupus. You've got breast cancer. You should learn how to straighten your plumb line and get your spine super neutral and super straight by doing a lot of core exercises, diaphragmatic breathe, meditate, use candlelight at night, sleep in your freaking backyard if you have a house with a backyard. People need to look at the products, the deodorants, the lotions, the parabens, cut out the processed, like people want to do like the coconut milk or the coconut milk from a carton and foods that are still in kind of quasi-packaged foods. If you have thyroid condition, then you want to make sure that you can poop. Why aren't you pooping? Are you drinking coffee? Are you skipping meals? Are you stressed with your partner or your children or your job? Are you in traffic an hour and a half? If you fix all those things and learn how to do time under tension workouts where you're slow on the negatives and get good grinding actin and myosin sliding filaments in the muscle fiber and good GLUT4 development of the receptor sites, and without stressing your adrenals out or your pancreas, then yes, you can heal your thyroid, of course. And keto is a great avenue to do that because now you're no longer reliant on blood sugar and you're using ketones, which kind of take down the fire from carbs, right? The overproduction of glucose, which glycates the cells, damages all cells because our arteries pump things up. and down, and then our veins squeeze things back up, and then all the cells are just have receptors for glucose, and then it just fracks up the cells. Because if we lived outside, I mean, I think without the exclusion of honey, maybe we're gonna get like 20 carbs in a day. Y'all, eating a bowl of pasta with a slice of garlic bread with some wine is going to with some sauce that has sugar in it, is going to shoot your blood sugar, the grams of carbohydrate over 100 grams, and your body can handle like 5 in one meal. So that high blood sugar goes over production of insulin down to low blood sugar, and then the glucagon insulin relationship doesn't work very well, and then blood sugar is never stable, and that ages and kills your cells and creates autoimmunity. So ketones are very even. There's no blood sugar up and blood sugar down, and insulin's even, and that's how the body heals, and this is how the thyroid heals. But it's not just using ketones, it's how you got to the point where your body would access the ketones. It's the lifestyle with the ketones, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Been eating 3 times a week. Carnivore, some sweet potatoes, so carbs because I don't live 4 times a week. My glucose levels are perfect. You can't say that. I'm really sorry. What are perfect glucose levels? When people say that something is perfect without any scientific explanation, I get concerned, because then it's their own subjective concept of themselves, generally speaking. So if you're eating sweet potato, let me see, Steph, remember what the cardiologist said about my heart? Said to keep eating butter, and my heart was perfect because of it. So if you see what my ma Deborah wrote about eating tons of butter, can people with hypertension do keto? Yes. Wolf, it's not keto's not the problem, you guys. It's people's poor execution of it, which is eating cheese. The consultation today I had with a woman, that's right, I just remember I was supposed to leave her a message. I did a consultation with a woman who'd never tried keto before. And she's like, like my Skype camera goes on, and she's like, "Look, Stephanie, I have my butter coffee." And I was like, "Well, I'm about to really stress you out because that's garbage." And she's like, "What? The internet says to put butter in coffee and you'll be ketotic." I'm like, "No." And she has adrenal issues. I was like, okay. She's had health issues in the past, so I'm like, no. Cut it out. Cut out the coffee, right? A lot of the antioxidants are killed in the roasting process anyway. There's a ton of mold on it. You guys have fungus, yeast infections, candida, and all this kind of stuff. And then it overstimulates the adrenals to produce too much energy, adrenaline, putting your body in a constant fight or flight syndrome. But the point is that you guys need to do a lot of different steps when you do a ketogenic diet. You don't have to do the carnivore diet. You can be an omnivore, which is still having plant source foods, and you might want to eat that spinach for its potassium, but cook it. Try to avoid salads. If you guys have autoimmunity, you might just want to rethink the amount of plant source carbohydrates that you're eating. Even if you're eating sweet potato, which it's got a lot of less starch in it, and it's not a grain, which is great. It's the one food. The thing that sucks is that I recommend white rice when people are doing carbs, because it's the anti-nutrients have been bleached out in the shell. The what's it called? The hull of the rice has been stripped through the bleaching process. But there's no nutrients in white rice. It's just going to give you glycogen storages if you are afraid or having hypoglycemia chronic. Okay, my blood sugar, man, these comments are coming fast. Yo, Steph, show us what your animal fat is bad. What? Why did Ansel Keys say that? Because he, it's people at that time hadn't. Keto is so new. Even the carnivore diet is new. Even people doing the carnivore diet don't even know why they're doing it. They don't know why they feel better. So Ansel Keys at that time, Ansel Keys, he did the lipid hypothesis, right? That's Ansel Keys. Yeah, okay, let me get my brain straight. Was it Ansel Keys? Yeah, Ansel Keys did, I think it was a 27 study, and he left out 22 countries. He cherry picked out the information because he didn't really want people to realize that these remote cultures that didn't have roads to their villages didn't have disease when they ate a very low processed diet and ate a animal based diet. So he just left them out of the study. He left those countries out to botch the study and to hide, and that's why Ansel Keys did this, the lipid hypothesis. I think that's what it was. So he lied, essentially, and people lie. Anybody out there, you 172 people, been to the doctor and you go home with nothing? They think that your pains are ghost pains, or they send you with aspirin and you've got problems and you don't know what it is, or they just want to immediately put you on strong medications. People are just people. I'm just a person. I'm giving you what I've learned, and then you can deconstruct and dissect it and throw it away or use it, but at least you guys use your brain instead of just hearing some trend. So I was very much turned off to the carnivore diet when it first was being popularized, because the people who were doing it weren't eating high quality meats and grass-fed and organ meats. They were just eating meat. And I'm like, and they're not trying to be in ketosis. So if you are not getting enough fats in and getting enough fatty cuts of meat, you're going to put a stress on your kidneys doing a carnivore diet, and that's the end of it. So the quality of the protein that you're consuming is super important. And that's why when you go to cultures like Asia or the Middle East, you'll still see tongue and brain and heart and liver and kidneys and intestine, because these foods are packed with nutrients. Your body can't heal you guys unless you give it the right nutritionally dense foods. And plant source foods just don't have them. They just don't. So they can help with your the antioxidant benefits or the detoxification, but you can't get a lot of robust food to drive the car. And so therefore your body will have to go into gluconeogenesis to get what it needs from what it can't. It can't get enough fat soluble vitamins, so it'll take from its own body to get it. Let me see the doctors that were debunking the whole keto diet. You started. No, there was no doctors debunking keto when I first started, because they didn't know anything. So the people who are debunking, like I got tagged on my Instagram today where some woman is like, the keto diet, like maybe she was some holistic, I haven't checked her out, but I think she was some kind of holistic functional doctor. And she was saying that keto can't be done for the long term. And then somebody said, then why has Stephanie been able to do this for 10 years? Like, yo, guys, I've been doing this diet forever. And I'm thriving. I'm getting stronger, and I'm getting healthier, and I'm getting younger the older that I get. So how is that possible? I mean, you can see health on people's bodies. You can't. That's why I'm sitting in a half top, because any abnormalities on my body, I'm going to be quite transparent so you can see it. Buy your organ meats. I bought them from Whole Foods. So there's also uswellnessmeats.com, which also sells organ meats that they can ship to you if you can't find your organ meats in, because I went to Air One. Like Air One's like the trendy health store here in LA that all the stars go to, and I was like, this, I don't like this store anymore. I'm sorry. Sorry, Air One. I'm disappointed. No organ meats. They don't have much. Everything was so expensive. I'm like, nope. I'm so popping today. Thanks. Stool is heavy. What do you mean heavy? Sleep is great. Fat has been a little under 200. Well, Irish woman, see? Irish woman says that she's hungry all the time, but her fats are under 200. Bump up the fats. Stool is heavy. What's that comment? Stool is heavy. Sleep is great. Okay, that was Irish woman. Several naturopaths have told me that keto is not a diet you can do for long term. Because they don't know. Have they done it for the long term? You know what I mean? This is their, like, there hasn't been enough people who have done keto, who have produced viable ketones, who have not been catabolic on it. to be able to say this is the study, right? As of recent times, the longest that someone did keto under a study was 30 days. Now the studies are starting to become a little bit longer, but for the longest time, people always referred to this 30-day keto study. Well, shite, in the first 30 days, you're not using any ketones, you feel horrible. So, if you take someone like me, I'm the perfect specimen because I literally have not cheated. Now, you guys don't know that. I could be just pulling that out of my bunghole, but I have not cheated on keto or had sugar in 10 years. Not a drop. So you can take someone like me who's older, and my cells are more, my DNA should be, you age, you have cellular death, that's aging. So I'm the perfect person to go, has she developed any disease? Does she look like she's falling apart? Is her skin starting to sag? Because the main thing that can happen from not using enough ketones is too much gluconeogenesis. So you would see my skin, you would see it sag here, you would see it in the arms start to sag, you would see it in my collagen, it would start sagging, especially under the neck. You would see that through gluconeogenesis of not eating enough carbs, that my body would rock from the amino acids here. That's why you see people with that turkey gobbler thing that flops down. It's because they're constantly adrenal driven, and that is the biggest problem. It's not the cholesterol thing, that's a bunch of crap. It's the fact that people aren't having enough stored glycogen and not using ketones. So if you're not using ketones, your body must eat itself, because you are not nutrition filled, you are polluted, and you're screwed. And so literally you can see on my body that I'm not, like you see men, you men who are in your 50s, women it's harder to see that, but you'll see that men store their fat here, right? So when they get into their 50s, they look all shredded on the arms, but they got that weird thing right here, right? They have that weird thing. And I don't, because I protect these adrenals from going to gluconeogenesis, and I wouldn't do keto if it was starting to catabolize my body. Stephanie, person, how does the ketogenic diet suppress the seizures, activity, epileptic? Let's see how much she really knows. Oh, Bob, I'm about to kick your butt right now. You ready, Bob? You ready, Bob? So seizures really are probably coming from poor gut motility and bacteria, really. So these kids are having seizures, and then right after the seizure, they have this clarity in their mind, right? Because they have this, now all of the overactivity of synapses have cooled down from you're taking away all of the glucose, which is so, can pass the blood-brain barrier and super irritate the mind, the brain, the way the brain functions and fires. So here's the thing, Bob. You ready for this, honey child? So a woman came to me a couple years ago who had adult onset epilepsy. She was in the Johns Hopkins program and was working with one of the top ketogenic and top neurologists for seizures, and also who had worked with keto. She also worked with the top ketogenic dietitian. They had her do keto for about a year, and her seizures wouldn't stop. Bob, are you listening? Listen, Bob. So they told her to go off because, just like this naturopathic doctor, they were afraid to keep her on keto for the long term. These are ketogenic specialists. Okay? So she didn't want to give up. So what did she do? She saw this crazy girl on the internet. I was like, energy. She's like, I'm going to contact this chick and let's see what's going on. So what I found out, Bob, was that she was doing spin classes, because doctors don't ask these things. You know what I mean? So she was obsessed with spin classes, and I said to her, because I'm a person who's an athlete and an exercise enthusiast, and I looked at her body and I was like, she's a little thin. I was like, what do you do for exercise? Because she had like little shoulder muscles, but she was thin. She had like the lollipop thing, big head and skinny body, small body. She's like, well, I love to do spin classes. I'm like, do you lift? She's like, no, a little bit, but I love spin. I love spin. I spin every day. And I'm like, why should you do a spin class, right? It's excitatory to the adrenals and the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. Why would you do that if you have adult onset of epilepsy and you're having seizures 25, 30 times a day as an adult? You can't function like that to have seizures that many times in a day. And then you're doing a spin class? And then you're taking these heavy drugs that are just destroy and abolish your liver, Bob. So I asked her what she was eating, Bob. And Bob, talking to you, hun, all for you, baby cakes. You know what her diet was? Whole chicken. Oh, minus the organ meats, because the organ meats were taken out. So she was just pretty much eating the meat and none of the organs. And she would have that, go to the store, you buy a whole chicken without the organs, of course, because we like to sterilize our food. And she was eating that like once a day. She had some cream, not from grass-fed cows, and this is what they put her on. Bob, okay? Put her on that. And it didn't stop her seizures. So I said, you're going to stop doing spin class. This is for you, Bob. I said, you're going to stop doing spin class. Now, we fought about this. We fought about this for a couple months. So you're going to stop doing spin. She couldn't tolerate butter, so she could tolerate ghee. So she raised her ghee. And I mean, a lot of ghee. Like, she was eating like 350 grams of fat a day, primarily from ghee. Stopped eating all that chicken, started eating a rotation of fatty meats. Took us about 8 months, Bob, but her seizures stopped. Bob. They stopped. So, Bob, this woman, like, that we fought in the very beginning, would send me like Whole Foods cards and gifts and Amazon. And I was like, you don't have to do this. She's like, but you changed my life. And she tried, Bob, to go to her top neurologist of the planet, who's a ketogenic specialist, and say, my seizures have stopped. Do you want to know what I did with this woman? He said no. Bob, he said no. He said no. And she was like, but they're still, he's like, that's great, just keep it up, keep it up. But, no, I don't want to know what she did. She asked the, and also the top ketogenic specialist at Johns Hopkins Hospital, had her on a urine strip. They didn't use any blood glucometers whatsoever. She talked to her dietitian and said, do you want to know how my diet was changed and the timing and the circadian rhythm and not? She goes, nope. Bob. Now what are you going to say? Sorry, Bob? I know, right? I'm just being such a little brat right now. I'm just being silly. I know. I know. I'm just playing, Bob. Don't take me so serious. I'm definitely trolling. I'm not mad. It's just, it's like a little to me, like a little let's see what you got, Stephanie. I'm like, yo, this is what I got. No, it's all in fun. It's all in fun. It's all in fun. I'm actually in a really, really good mood. And, I'm a feisty. Everybody knows that Steph's feisty. Okay. What do you want to email me, Bob? Because seriously, I get emailed so much. I don't even like to turn on my computer. Like, seriously, at the end of the day, I was so tired with all the stuff I had to do yesterday that I had to go on the course page because it's Ask Steph Day on my keto course page. Well, and the mods. And I was like, I don't want to go on that because I just get, if I showed you guys, one day I should have, well, I don't want to dox anyone, but I would love to show you guys how many DMs I get on all my social media plus my website with questions. Like, a couple of questions is so fun. But when you start getting hundreds of them and thousands of them, you don't even care anymore. Like up the stream, Jessica says. Yo, you just get tired of it. So I'm like, well, why do you want to email me? Because I, it's just hard. It's hard to be one person and know how to have a really great conversation with somebody who wants to email you. Because you might they might email you and then you might email them back and then you've got like 300 more emails to get to and then you just forgot about Bob's email because Bob just wanted to have a discussion. It's kind of hard. That's why I like sitting at a coffee shop and talking to someone. It's just so much more fun, right? Or on a mountaintop or at the beach. You bought an ebook on what? Yeah, brushing, body brushing is good for your lymphatic system. We don't move, people. We get clogged up. So the brushing, you take the brush, you're brushing upwards to get your lymphatic system moving so your kidneys can excrete waste that gets stuck in you. You know what? 9 Mars 3, I don't think so. I think that the book will lead to more questions because you can't put everything in one book, which is what I was originally it was going to be simple. Then I tried to put too much into it. And then I'm like, Stephanie, pull back because you can make another book after. I can't put it all in one book, so I don't think it'll end. Jenny, it depends on why you want to exercise at 4:30 in the morning, but I wouldn't say that's the smartest idea because your faculties aren't even at, but if that's the only time, I'd rather have you work out at 4:30 a.m. rather than 4:30 p.m. Stephanie, every time I eat fatty meat, I still crave for more. Is that normal? Yeah. Just as it, Myra, get more fat in. Like, you don't have to just eat a ton of meat to get your fat in. You can make fatty teas. You can put bone broth. You can take lard and put it in with ginger, and it creates a soupy taste. Or you can do a fatty tea with butter and cinnamon. There are ways to get in more animal fats without literally having to chomp on meat every time to, exceed your protein demand. Best cheap food that I can afford. I had to stop truck driving because my body was bogging down so bad. I have 3 kids and a wife. Have no energy and feel like a loser. I haven't worked in 2 years. Martin, don't feel bad. Like, you know what? Look, you're in the stream and you're learning. Like, we're all having to deconstruct poor information and thinking that we know best on certain things. Like, the more I learn, I'm like, how can I be so dumb about so many things? Like, I just feel like, why didn't I ever question anything before? Because now I question everything now. Like, who am I? Why did I believe that? I don't know. Just, why did I don't know. It's just all the stuff that I was doing. I can't believe that I did it. And I thought I was being healthy. It's just weird. You don't drink coffee or dairy. Let's see. City center expensive now. How long after waking up before starting to exercise? I mean, it's not how long afterwards. If you're following a circadian rhythm, like mid-morning's great, but not everybody has that schedule. That's why I said rather have you do it in the morning than later in the day. Say something about corned beef. Nice and fatty, cheap and easy. What do you want me to say? It's not, these are sick cows. They're sick cows. Ew. Ew. Oh, Harry, it's easy. Like, I'll get up in the morning and I'll have now it's like either my heart or liver, and I literally just put about 6 slabs of butter, not melted. It's like not hard, but it's in that semi-phase. It reminds me of cream cheese. So I'll do like slab of lightly sauteed liver and some spring onion on the green side, and a slab of butter put in the mouth, and I'm like I even have to pull back on not doing more butter, just because, like, I don't need to go. I become so addicted to the fat. And then before I go work out, I'll do another 2 tablespoons of fat. Just, I don't even have time to put in the tea. I just do a cut and stick it in my mouth, walk out the door. Before I went live today, oh, we got a tenner, thank you. Let me see. Is it because I don't get it? Explain because I don't hear stuff. I mean, that's such perfect name, right, for this stream. Why is hair falling out in cycles? 14 months within. Probably because your glycogen is low, your inflammation is high, you're not using enough ketones, which boggles down the thyroid. Blood sugar monitor, daily sleep, night balance. Nothing's balanced if your hair's calling out. No. So explain because I don't get it. Thyroid panels are just probably one of the worst tests to know if you actually have thyroid disorder, because it only tests what's in the blood. We are not advanced enough as scientists to know what happens in a cell. So just because it appears in the blood doesn't mean your body's uptaking it. And like leaky gut plays a big role in people not being able to uptake their thyroid hormone or the inflammatory response. So it doesn't matter your perception that you think everything's balanced. You're not, because your hair's falling out. And 9 times out of 10 is because your T3 is too low. And you can test your free T3 and it's normal and you're not absorbing it. So there's the answer. And people don't sleep because you're not conscious when you sleep, so you don't know if you're hitting enough deep REM cycles. But thank you so much for donating anyway. I think it sounds like, I mean, it could be candida, and it can be like low iron can also make you lose your hair. But I'm telling you, it's always the freaking, or it's polycystic ovarian syndrome with high testosterone. But typically, it's your thyroid. Not gonna lie. See here, major digestive issues right now. Well, David is the perfect person to do a carnivore keto diet, so I would cut out the veggies straight up. Should I still be eating a lot of butter when I want my body fat to reduce? So is it GD? Yeah, GD. Fat does not make you fat. Body fat comes from a spike in insulin and too much estrogen. So if your blood sugar is really high and you're eating a lot of fat, then insulin, because the sugar, will store the fat. But if you can regulate your insulin and you're eating a lot of fat, I'm eating 200 to 300 grams of fat a day, I'm not getting fat, right? I'm not getting fat. So you guys need to learn more about biology, and that's the problem. Fat never makes you fat on its own. It's your ability to use the fat. And if your body's not using the fat and your insulin's high because your glucose is high or your A1C is high, you'll store it. Or if you're very estrogenic because you can't poop, then that's when you get more fat. Or if your thyroid is compromised, excuse me. Does anyone have a legit chart? Like, because everybody knows me as being like the strict keto person. Of course, I believe that my version is the best one. It's sort of like a GAPS. But to be honest, I've got a keto course group. I suggest going there. It's $15 a month. You can do it 1 month or 20 months. It's up to you. But that's where you're going to get the solid information. And you're going to get a lot of people and a lot of experimenting on the people that are in the group with solid data of what happens. Yeah, and well, that's the whole thing, right? You're not supposed to take any products that have estrogen in it. If you're taking any skin or whatever products or hair, you don't want anything with estrogens, and you don't want any things with the xenoestrogens and plastics and stuff like that. And just signed up for your keto course group. Oh, Suzanne, I have to let you in the group if I haven't seen so. Is there? See, Deborah says that mine is the best version. Yes, because I don't pacify people. Tell them what they want to hear. What I talk about is just knowledge. It's like I'm not really selling anything. I sell some meal plans, but I'm not selling you, like, do you know how many people want to do an affiliate program with me where it's almost weekly now, if not daily, of people wanting me to sell their detox tea or sell their fat bomb, blah, blah, blah. And they're always saying to me, oh, Stephanie, I love this video that you did with blah, 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 blah. And I was like, they did not look at my videos, because if they actually looked at my videos, they would know that I'm against all these stupid keto supplements. So then I get pissed off when I see them lying straight to me, telling me they sell my videos. People want to use products to live, and the is to get as humanly hunter-gatherer natural as you can, or mimic that. Let me see. You're only 15? Oh, wow. You've been eating. Well, see, I don't know if you're okay with that. I don't know if you're having histamine. Because some of you guys still having histamine response to some of the red meats because of leaky gut. You got to fix the leaky gut so you can take in the red meats. Jessica says, because I'm the authority. That's what's up. Okay, sorry, you misunderstood me. Oh, sorry. I'm not taking or talking about storing fat. I mean, I'm sorry, GD. The comments sometimes come in really fast, and in my stupid personality, I just try to answer everyone. And if I read you wrong, or since I read you wrong, I apologize. Let me see. Sorry about misunderstood me. I'm not talking about storing fat. I mean that I want to burn body fat versus dietary fat. Should I still eat? But no, that's the same question. You can't keto adapt unless you eat high fat. The dietary fat, so I didn't get you wrong. The dietary fat, you can't avoid it. That's how you get your body to start converting that dietary fat into ketone bodies that can be uptaken through the Krebs cycle and into the body and into the brain and uptaken by cells. That's how you start. The liver learns how to develop the enzymes and the enzymatic response to convert these dietary fats into ketogenic fats that your body can use. You can't avoid it. You can't do a moderate to low keto diet and then access body fat. Unfortunately, your body's probably going to have like a rebound and spike its blood sugar through gluconeogenesis from the absence of stored glycogen, because you have to get your body so in a parasympathetic state and homeostatic that if you can't become homeostatic, you must eat a lot of fat in the beginning. So that's the reason why I don't talk about weight loss on a ketogenic diet, because people expect to just drop fat and drop their insulin and drop their estrogen and start to lose weight, and then they have this blood sugar rebound and they don't lose weight and they gain weight. So no, kind of still the same. You have to adapt first. Don't even think about weight loss. You have to think why your body fat went up, like what's broken, and fix that first. Once you fix that first, then your body will become ketotic. So then when you are fasting while you sleep, you will access those ketones and therefore not be gluconeogenesis. You will actually have a spare. You'll be more anabolic because you will spare those amino acids and burn the body fat that your body now does not need because it knows how to convert it. How's that for ya? Deborah is on it. I guess I missed a troll. It's so nice to have a mod to get rid of the trolls. It's amazing. It's amazing. For those who just caught me on this stream and don't know what keto is, like up the stream. When you like up the stream, that brings more people to my broadcasts. And then I've got Deborah to get rid of the trolls. And no, it just means also that you guys want to see me do more live streaming. And then I try to bring better and better content each time. Let's see here. Okay, good. I'm glad you understand now. I know I'm getting ready. It's okay. I don't even see, like, I don't care. When I watch other live streamers, no, I'm not debating with anybody. Why would I debate with someone? It's just like debating whatever you believe in life. My beliefs come from what I've experienced with clients, and I learn from the people that I work with, which this guy, whoever his name is, did not work with my people. So he has his own ideology. Why would I want to debate it? It would be just for the crowd, but it would be of zero interest for me to debate anyone because I don't give a shite what they think. I go working, and that's my perception. So I'm not debating anyone. Why did you say intermittent fasting when fat if you don't What? You haven't adapted. Oh, because Nicole, your body is looking for gasoline to drive the tank. So you're not adapted. You're doing a bunch of errands and work or school in a day. There's no glycogen, so the body is forced to go into gluconeogenesis and break down muscle and collagen and skin to get enough sugar to the brain so you don't go into a coma and feel like crap. So it can work for the short term, like a couple of days. People feel better because they've cleared out a lot of toxic food, and sometimes intermittent fasting might cut out some of these anti-nutrients in foods that make you feel better because you're eating less of them fasting. But then over time, people have a rebound and they start having their hair fall out, and they start having thyroid issues and leptin issues and adrenal issues, and they start storing fat. So that's why you don't intermittent fast, because it wrecks your body. Your body must get its nutrients from itself. Plus your electrolytes are jacked fasting. Is it dangerous to eat so much fat if you're still haven't adapted? No. Your body knows, Nicole, when to stop. Like, you're not going to just keep eating like rah, rah, rah. You know, you're not going to do that. It's a process for your body to eat the fat. The stomach acids have to break it down, and then your gallbladder has to go and break it down, and then it has to get into the bloodstream, and it's a whole process. So in that process, your hunger levels aren't high. So carbs are already digesting in your saliva with the amylase. By the time they hit your stomach, it's already liquid. It shoots into your bloodstream, and 30, 45 minutes later, you're hungry again. Like, it's already been digested, and that's bad. You want things to move slowly through the digestive tract as to not spike your blood sugar and insulin. And so that's why people are really, really hungry on carbs. But with fat and fatty meats, it takes a long time. Our stomachs are designed to break down protein. That's it. Enzymes, the caloric stomach acid, and the peptides and enzymes are for protein. They're not for cellulose and all this kind of ridiculousness. For fatty meat and for the meat. Yay! We got more likes than the people in the stream. So thank you guys for liking up the stream. Sardines are great. I mean, our sea is polluted, but yeah, we got to do what we can, right? HCG is garbage. Yeah, did 15 years ago and completely messed my, and then I'll see the comments gone now. How to use coconut oil. You can't use, Amanda, you can't use plant fat or keto. It's animal fat, that's it. No. You can use coconut oil for its lauric acid, but not to adapt. Avocado oil, and avocados are high in monounsaturated fat, which the body likes, but you can't adapt on it. You need to have animal fat as your primary fat, because the fatty acid profile is very similar to human beings, because we're mammals. You have gout, trying to learn how to eat, to eat with it. Yeah, so I really am starting to think that, the uric acid, purine issue might, like spinach is high in, I think purines, like maybe the plants really start with the and like, people's, their stomach acids, their gut biome is all fracked. So then when they do eat red meats that have, if you do meat as a person who has gout, you got to make sure it's fatty and not lean, because that is definitely going to create the gout issues. Let me see, Stephanie, have you worked with epileptics before? Yes, I just told a long story. If you watch the replay, I have a really great story of a woman who was having the finances to be able to work with the top specialists in neurology and diet and ketogenic diet, and they couldn't get her seizures to stop, and I did. And that situation with her will never, no one can ever take that away from me, because we worked so long together. Yeah, and then when she felt that she was good, she stopped working with me, and that was probably about 2 years of it. But it took us a while to adapt, because it took us a while to get her to stop doing all of this adrenal sports, right? Everything that's excitatory to the adrenals and then to the brain, considering the gut biome, right, with the vagus nerve from the gut all the way back to the brain, and then eating all this chicken junk without the organs. Ugh. Do you suggest 5 grams of carbs per meal? You don't have to, because again, 5 grams of carbs per meal is a lot of veggies. So I'm even, not because I'm worried about the carbs, I'm just worried about the anti-nutrients in the plants. So you guys are talking about this stupid HCDG, absolute garbage. We're asking too much questions, we're stressing stuff. Nah, I'm not stressed, Albert. I just know that it's time to go. Like, I'm kind of tired because I got a last minute request from my manager to clean out every freaking closet and kitchen cabinet to kill the roach problem in this building. Story time, really quick. And I'm a perfectionist. If I'm gonna clean out my cabinets, I'm gonna take 5 years of dishes that I'm not using and start. It's like I'm moving to another apartment. Everything had to be sealed in plastic bags and all. And ugh. So I stayed up so late doing that. I was so pissed too. You're skinny and fat. Gut, it's annoying. Okay. I didn't like, and the thing is that I was like, for a long time, I didn't let them treat my apartment because I don't want any chemicals. But she was like, we've got to treat like 4 apartments at once, and that's that. And I was like, fine. Stephanie's my name. Hair loss is coming primarily with most women from low thyroid function. So people's hair falls out because they're tired, okay? The body is tired. And things like taking a dump, okay, pooping, and growing muscle, and, getting lean and ripped, menstrual cycles, and hair growth take too much energy. So the body tries to survive by just cutting off all those things. So women with thyroid issues are typically constipated. Now there's other reasons, like leaky gut can do that too. Or candida, or weird stuff like fibroids can push on your colon, or people got endometriosis and stuff like that. Or so people typically have constipation because it's just too much for the body to do certain actions that the thyroid regulates, like body temperature, the rate at which your metabolism is going to burn fat, which is why people start storing no cheese, because it's absolutely no, that's enough. So people's hair start falling out when they're stressed. That drives down their T3. The regulation of energy expenditure, the body goes into hibernation mode, and it dumps the ability to, deal with hair growth. That's why. And people's hair falls out in keto because they do eat cheese. They eat cheese and they eat the wrong fat, and it's too late, Michael. Like literally, my manager was on me so bad to spray, and I avoided it for a couple of years. And I just finally was like, all right, time to protect everything, cover everything. What I did to try to make my apartment as the least toxic as possible, I did. And then I have to just rely on my great detoxification pathways after that. My strong immune function. Yeah, a lot of people like Anchor butter. Kerrygold, but there's a whole debate and whatever. Let me see what butter comes from. I don't know. A2 cows. Oh, if you can find a grass-fed raw. From minimum 200 grams of fat. Per day. Fat per day. What percentage should be animal fat? 80? 80? No, pasture cream is poison, so nope. My sister is doing keto for breast cancer, but the doctor has her on metformin. Freddie, they don't know what they're doing. And I feel bad for your sister, that she's going to be so confused. Okay, oh, we're at 100. Oh no, child, it's 2 hours, and I'm tired. Okay, you guys want story time? I can do a quick 5-minute story. Watch, we got 159 people in the chat. Watch how many numbers will drop when I do a story. I like to do a little bit of story time so you guys know a little bit more about the background of who I am. So I'm not just some idiot, like just with, you don't know who I am. I'm just kind of projecting whatever I want to. Okay, so Chrissy's like stories. So what do you guys want me to tell a story about? So if I can give you some options, Do you guys want to know about anything to do with working out? Do you want to know anything about my traveling? Because you guys know I lived in other countries for years and years and years. Do you want to know my situation with like my thoughts on like getting older in my 50s, or about guys, difficult stories, fun stories, fun facts, traveling? About discovered keto from my mom, yes. My website is stephanieperson.com. And my Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. I always forget to say that. How about the real, what is it, Compton? Stephanie, can obese woman lose weight doing? Yes. She regulates her estrogen, her insulin, her A1C, and clear out all of that inflammation. Story time. Okay, why do you get sore keto when you... So I'm not doing keto anymore, so bye everyone who's like doesn't want to hear me go into story time. Real Compton G? Yo, I lived in Compton when I was a little kid, so I barely even remember it. Battling pain. Okay, I got a story for you guys. I used to be a pro skateboarder, right? So this is sort of like still in the realm of keto. So for those who want to hear about battling pain, I have a story that deals with that. So I've had 10 surgeries on my left knee, and that's from one fall skating in Stockholm, Sweden. You guys know I used to live in Sweden, and I lived there for a long time, and I was in Stockholm and I fell, and it's a long story, but I literally destroyed everything. My knee actually was like this. It was dangling because I just ripped everything in the joint. That was a mess. So it's like I was so into skateboarding then, and then it just ended. Like, now I'm not a skater anymore. And I had this emotional freak out that I'm not an athlete anymore. I had surgery after surgery after surgery, and I wasn't getting better. And because I was young and stupid, it was really painful. It was horrible. But like when you're young, the best thing about being young is kind of being in denial. Because if I knew then what I know now, I think I would be more emotionally wrecked by it, because my leg just never got better. It just never did. And I just let them continue to cut and cut and cut and cut and cut, like 10 surgeries. Really? Dude, that's a stupid girl. Why would I let these fools go into my leg? If I just wouldn't... And this guy, the day that I fell, now it's all good, because what doesn't break you makes you stronger. And for some people, it breaks them, but it doesn't break stuff. When I have adversity, I always get stronger. So I welcome crappy things to happen. So, exactly, we're invincible in our 20s. So I just kept letting them cut into my leg. And this is the reason why I was on crutches for almost 4 years, because anytime my leg would get better, they would do another procedure, and then you're out another 6 months. It was a mess. And like, you do a surgery, it doesn't completely heal, and then you do another one, and then there's scar tissue, and then there was infections, and the leg just kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Like, I was better the day that I completely destroyed my leg and was dangling than after all those surgeries. So when I meet people today, and they're like, so you good now? Because they look at me and they're like, sorry, I'm just being, that's just me. This girl is a dancer, right? She's a runner. Like, she's a CrossFit girl. But what they don't know is that walking 1 block is so hard on my knee. So if I didn't do keto, you guys, it's like, for me, doing keto and not having carbs and pancakes, like the pancakes I used to have, and sugars and sweet fruits, is so easy for me, because look at the byproduct of doing this for 10 years. Now, this is my left knee, that's destroyed, and so for years I leaned on this hip, and now this hip needs to be replaced. Okay? So I literally busted my knee on my 25th birthday. I will be turning 26 in a matter of days. So, this is 26 years ago that I did this. And people look at me and think that I'm a runner. And trust, the pain that it took to build my glutes and my quads and my hamstrings back, the pain is beyond measure to build the stability. But I never gave up because, I got things to do. I don't have time to age. Sorry. Nope. So, when keto really became something, I'm in like sweatpants. You can't really see the shape of my glutes very well. But I was getting my car fixed, and they have this Metro. I was like, okay, what I'll do is I'll go get my car fixed. I'll jump on the Metro, and I will skate to the gym because I still skateboard. And have I told this? I don't think I've told this story to you guys. So, I'm like, okay, I got my music playing, my earphones. I'm skating downhill. I'm going fast, right? And I'm just hucking it. Like, I'm just like, right? And I'm listening to music. So I go down a curb to then cross the street to go up a curb. And this girl was running. No, well, somebody was running after me. It was a girl. She was like running after me. She was like screaming. I couldn't hear her because I was like jamming. I was jamming to the music. I was kicking it. I'm like reliving my years, my youth years. I'm like, because when I skate, yo, Steph, this black girl rocks it, right? People are like, dang. I'm like, I know. So I'm skating, like, even with horrible knee and hip and all this kind of stuff, and being a middle-aged woman, I'm like jetting down the street, going real fast, downhill, on my skateboard, cross, and this girl's running top speed after me, and she gets right here, and I look, and the curb, you know, you can go down to the street and then up the driveway on and continue. But because I turned my head, I missed the up ramp, and I hit the actual curb. So my board hits the curb, and I'm flying. I must have flown 15 feet in the air, because if you're skating downhill, right, and you're just, and somebody's running after you and screaming at you, and you turn your head and you hit the curb, the board comes to a dead stop, and I flew off, and I landed on my bad hip. Okay. And I was like, ooh. So I checked to see if I broke it, because that's how bad I fell. I had a big, huge black bruise on my hip. And at that point in my life, and this is like maybe 4 or 5 years ago, at that point I was already panicking about my hip bothering me. And then I was just emotionally effed. Because what do? It hurt to walk. I couldn't sleep on this side, and I always sleep on this side, because I would wake up in so much pain. The hip was already has osteoarthritis, and I just made it worse. I'm telling you, that keto saved my butt. Now my hip still hurts, but I can sleep on that side, right? I became more hyper into ketosis once I did that, because I was like, anything to make my ketones and my blood sugar and my adrenals as stable as possible. So if I can keep the glucose, glucagon, or the insulin, it's the glucose to the insulin to the glucagon, and I keep myself in homeostasis, maybe I can use these ketones to drop the inflammation, because it hurt to walk. Now I'm screwed on both sides. This hip hurts and this knee hip hurts, and so I would almost never walk. And people cannot understand that. They look at me and they're like, why can't this girl walk? They're like, oh, let's take a walk around, here or there. And I'm like, always coming up with excuses, because if I tell people, they don't see it, that I'm not messed up. But me really cutting out inflammatory foods, really focusing on circadian rhythm, really starting to get deep sleep, really producing viable ketones, it took down the inflammation in that hip where I couldn't even sleep on it, probably 80%. That's my story. You guys don't know, when I fell on that hip, it just destroyed me, because I already have so much pain on my left knee. So then, like, you can't even stand. Like, you're just messed up on both sides. And so keto was really, really good to literally watch the inflammation just drop. And to the point where this hip definitely needed to be replaced after that fall, and now doesn't need to be replaced. So you guys kind of see why I drink my own keto Kool-Aid. I don't like dietary trends, but I'm just bringing to you guys, I'm the messenger of what I've learned. Hopefully you guys can get out of it what you want. You know, I'm not saying that any diet is the best diet, although I just think anything that models the way we're designed to live, which is outside, is probably the best way to live. And I try my best to model it in the middle of this crazy city. Oh, that's awesome. Is that Lana? That's amazing. Would you have, is it spondylitis? I've never even heard of that. I blame sports. It's not, yeah, sports are not designed. People don't even understand that we're supposed to squat. Like, if you look at little kids, they have perfect form. Like, oh, I'm so jealous. Oh, if I didn't do all the skateboarding, I wouldn't have all of these joint problems in my lower half. I see people squat. I envy those days of being used to be able to squat like that, like a little kid. We do everything wrong. Oh, sorry. Why was a girl chasing me? I forgot to tell that part. So the girl was chasing me because she was doing a short film, and she wanted a girl skateboarder, and she saw a girl skating, which is very rare. I don't mean like longboards and like, oh, like I skate down the street to, like, you know, because skateboarding is so popular, but like a true athlete, skater, pro skater. So she just saw like this girl was like, because I'm, you know, down the street going fast downhill on a skateboard. I'm not just like, because I see so many girls here in LA skating. I'm like, you don't know how to skate. But, you know, I'm glad that you're doing it. But, because it's very trendy to have like longboards now. But she wanted me to be in her film. And I was like, no, girl, I'm sorry. Because, you know, I live here in the city of movies. Come on. No. And it's a short film. No. And, you know, nobody has their shite together. They're so disorganized. You know how many people I know doing movies here? Like, everything's disorganized. It's like, I'm too busy for that. I'm too, not old as in, like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I was in my early 20s, like, oh my God, you want me to be in your movie? I'm so fabulous. I'm so important. Might have, but now when you get older, you don't care. You're like, nah. You know, I was talking to a 26-year-old today in the gym, and I was like, dude, why are you drinking so much? Like, bro, like, you're not 21 straight out of freaking high school or college. Like, bro, dude, you look like shite. And he's like, it's fun. I was like, no. Back in the day when I was young, we would get on. We would dance. Like, there was no cell phones. Like, it was just fun. It was fun. And he's like, well, what do you do for fun? I was like, travel. Okay. Be on the Copacabana in Rio. Like, you know, I was like, yeah, I went to Rio, and I went to New Year's Eve on the beach in Rio, Copacabana. You know, 2 million people on the beach dancing and singing, all dressed in white. I was like, that's my fun. And he's like, were you drinking? I'm like, no, bro. I was like, having the experience. I'm in Rio, bruh. They're putting like candles out in the freaking ocean. Everybody's dressed, singing the same songs. I don't need to drink and miss all that fun. No. That's my fun. I went to Iceland last year around this time. Yo, it was so much fun. I went horseback riding. I went ATVing to the top of a volcano and saw the northern lights, Aurora Borealis, and went to the icebergs in southern Iceland, and ice in the freaking waterfalls and what is it, the hot springs, like natural hot springs, like that being in a stupid club in LA. Nah, nah, nah. Like, I like to travel and do stuff. You know what I mean? My friend, she just went to Paris. I was looking at her Instagram stories. I'm like, that's so boring. They're going to expensive restaurants and no. Mm-mm. Okay, guys. So it's 2 hours officially. 2 hours and 4 minutes. You're wasting away in LA. I think LA is really cool, to be honest. I think it's very diverse, but watching millennials like seep like brain matter out of their head, they're so afraid. Millennials, they have no books. It's like they all want to do stuff, but then they don't. They're not organized and they don't pay attention. They act like there's a little gnat fly around their head when you talk to them. I was like scaring that millennial today, the 26-year-old. I was like, bro, we're running out of drinking water. You better be worried about that. He's like, what are you talking about that for? Oh, it was so funny. I was talking about autism in children and like gut biome and stuff. I did it on purpose to just mess with his head. Because like young people think they're invincible and they're not. Like, dude, in 12 years, you're going to be fat. So you're going to be balding. You're going to have a pooch. And you're going to have a kid. And you're going to hate your life. Because he's totally that type of person. Like, so I'm trying to like mess with his head and scare him into appreciating life more. He's like, no, I won't. I was like, bro. And he goes, I'm always going to go to the gym. I was like, no, you're not. Because when you got to work all day because you plopped out a bunch of kids and you don't like touching your wife no more and like you're so exhausted because you have adrenal insufficiencies and low testosterone, all you're going to want to do is eat and watch TV. Trust. He's like, no, I'll still come to the gym because the gym makes me feel better. I'm like, that's because you ain't got no kids, bruh. Like, you don't got the job and the kids and the responsibility and the mortgage payments. Like, you just young going out. And I was like, you gonna get tired and you ain't gonna want to exercise. You're like, oh, I gotta go to the gym. I'm so tired. I got adrenal insufficiencies. I love messing with the millennials. It's so fun. Because like I look like I'm a millennial in some aspects, but so I mess with them. And like I don't care cuz like I don't care if they think I'm a dick or not. I don't care. I'm older. Like I'm old. I don't care what you think. Like I'm not trying to be popular. I don't care. So I always mess with their heads. They trip out. Anyway, sorry. Okay, you're 25 and you completely agree. Read books, live happy, explore. Exactly. Eat healthy, enjoy nature. See, Amanda, Amanda, besides the healthy part that I was very naive to, that's what I was doing when I was 25. Like, I was literally traveling in Europe as a pro skater then. But also, Amanda, I was born in an era where there was no internet. Like you had to go to the payphone to call someone. You made an appointment, like 3 weeks from now, you better show up. People are going to get pissed if you're not there. There was no social media. There wasn't any plastic surgery craze. There was no this obsessive body dysmorphia. The biggest dysmorphia people had was anorexia. Back in the day, it was all about big boobs and no butt. I think I told this story before in one of my streams. I have one of my friends, black girl, she's like, when did butts become popular? She's like, I've been having a big butt forever. This makes me so mad, this whole Kim Kardashian nonsense. Oh, it's so funny. Anyway. Okay, I love you. Been here since before you blew up. Oh, I didn't blow up. Shoot, I'm still simmering low. You're awesome. I hate that I didn't get to meet you. Aw. Nature's Addiction before I left LA a couple months ago. I'm up in Sacramento now. Aw. Well, I hope you're enjoying more of the quiet. As long as you're away from the gangs in Sacramento, if you have some quiet time there, awesome. I used to go to a competition up there called, what was it called? Darn it, what was it called? Back in the day. Let me see, San Diego? Are you in San Diego? I might go. I'm thinking like, do I go to San Diego? But it's so boring down there. Like, I need to do something that's cool besides just going to the beach, because I live near the beach. Sacramento. You blew up, we woke. I don't know, Tristan. I haven't blown up yet because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been on the internet a long time. I haven't even hit 100K subscribers. But, like somebody said in the last stream, it's not about the number, it's the quality of people that follow you. And, you know, look, there's 112 people here. I feel like you can't stop. When people start having millions of followers, you kind of like, you don't really care about the people who follow you because it's so many numbers of individuals you have zero connection. So in some aspects, this still keeps me grounded where I'm not too big. So when I keep seeing you guys return to my live streams and I start to recognize the profiles, I'm still feeling like these are people instead of just, you know, whatever. Okay, you live in the Smoky Mountains. You should. I would love to. Is it Ilana or Alana? I would love to go to the Smoky Mountains. I love nature. And the more I live in the city, I'm like, I love the diversity. I love the naive youth culture and the creativity. But dang, I need to be in nature. I'm going to lose my shite. Thank you, Alex Lee. I appreciate that. You appreciate me? I appreciate it. You're one of the first YouTube channels I watched that got me on keto. Yo, Amanda, it was like me, Jimmy Moore, and like Nora, and Finney and Volek maybe. There wasn't much. Like, I would like research and try to find people when I was trying to deal with my mother's glioblastoma cancer stuff. And I was so thirsty for knowledge. It was insatiable. And I think that's probably the reason why I became so saturated on the internet on this topic, because I was obsessed about learning about the body and keto and, you know, trying to not die. And here I am years later. I just keep trucking. Like, I'm not a part of any. The paleo people are like, what affiliate programs are you on? I'm like, none. The infrared box gave me melasma. Oh, the infrared. Boy, did I learn my lesson. Okay. Okay, it's done. Done. I would love to come to the Smoky Mountains. Oh, it's so beautiful there. So beautiful. Okay, guys. Again, I'm going over time. 6:30, still not too late. So have a great evening. Thank you guys for joining this stream. Just note that I'm learning every time I go live or just being on the internet. Some people love you, some people hate you. But at the end of the day, you can't make everyone happy. You just try to do the best you can, and you just live each day at a time. That's all you can do. Got to keep that cortisol low. So thank you guys. For those who watch the replay, thank you for watching the replay. And like up the stream afterwards, let me know that you want me to continue to live stream. I haven't done an antiquated video, which is pre-recorded video, in so long. I'm really loving the contact with people. And I don't know why. It's like I have a love-hate relationship with live streaming because I feel so tired afterwards. But then I feel so more myself, you know? In some kind of not yourself kind of way. Gary, hey Stephanie, your live streams get better every week. Great information, Stephanie. Good night. Oh, thank you, Gary. Thank you. Mummy from Egypt. Okay. Yeah, he does, but you guys are talking about someone. I don't know. I missed it. Went to stephanieperson.com, sent you an email. Bob is persistent. Bob, you persistent. If it's a subject, I'm going to be honest right now, Bob. I'm tired as frack. I got no sleep last night. If I see that email and if there's anything on it, I'm like, oh no, this is giving me a headache. I'm not going to respond. I'm going to be true right now. But if it's interesting, I'll try to respond if I remember, because as soon as I get off, there's even people on the course page I have to let on. So my brain is not at your email, just so you know. But I will take a look. Okay, guys. Thank you. Let's see here. Spit it out. I think you have help. I'd love to know how you lower estrogen dominance in an antiquated video. Okay. You guys want me to do more antiquated videos? Okay, I'll do one. I'll do an estrogen. Maybe it's time to do some antiquated videos. Ugh, I just hate doing them though. But I will do it. It's a good subject because I'm all obsessed right now about estrogen dominance. So, you know, that that DIM supplement. Some people say it's great. Some people don't. But I'm telling you now, clearing out estrogen is not about taking products, cleansing products. Uh, Fixing estrogen dominance is about getting deep REM sleep. It's about being able to poop, and DIM's not going to do that. You have to be able to have a high functioning liver and clear out that estrogen. So there's like 20 things that you have to do, and maybe DIM would be the last thing, but it wouldn't be the first thing because I would say on the people that have used it, it's not a defined like it worked. It's like I think it's working. You know, you want to make sure that your actions work more than trying to run to a supplement to remedy your issues. I would say eat organ meats. That should balance out your reproductive tree. Night, Jessica! I tested blood work. Okay. Roger that. Liver vest. Yes, liver. I like it just the way it is. I don't need no pate. I'll just eat that. Okay, guys. I haven't graduated yet to the people who are doing like raw liver in a shake and like they'll do like raw liver, raw eggs, and some blood. I haven't done that yet. Baby steps. No, I can't stand that expression. Just strike that one. Osteoarthritis. Keto. Sveria. You know what this everybody says about? They call him Sverige, and I get pissed. I was like, his name isn't Sverige. What is it? What's that dude? Vegan Gains calls him Sverige. It's Sverrier. The frack. You turned the 3 into an E. It's Sverrier. It's not Sverige. Sverrier is his real name. That's his channel name. He's got a lot of good information. He turned me on to this Dr. Natasha. But the flat earth thing, no. I'll never show my calves. Ever. Just because you asked something so weird. Not weird for you, obviously. I'll never show my calves. Sorry. Now you made me never show my calves. You should have told me the opposite, like never show your calves, and then I might have shown them. But yeah, this guy's Svet. You know what I love about Sverier's I love his videos on ex-vegans. That's what I binge watch. A lot of the stuff that he's already talking about, and I'm not gonna, and he does the raw meat and all that stuff. I'm not doing that. Plus he got some bacterial infection. Homeboy got almost, like, he got super sick from eating bone marrow, like raw. Nope. But I know most of his information about plants and food, but the vegans, the ex-vegan stories, you guys got to go to his channel for that. That is fast. It's riveting because they just talk. He doesn't interrupt them, and he's not trying to persuade them and get them to say anything. They just say whatever they want to say, and I really find his series of ex-vegan stories, gizzards too. Yeah. Yes, giblets. Yes. Yeah, right? That dude's got friggin' balls. I have waited for somebody to go against veganism that, like, he doesn't even care. Like, he gets death threats and all this kind of stuff. He just keeps going. Like, he doesn't soften. You know what I love is when people don't soften what they really think. Like, I don't like when people are diplomatic. They show this very fine level of diplomacy. I don't like that. I like when people say things, like, straight to the point. So, yeah, it's Severier, but he spells it SV and then the number 3, RIGE, because he probably couldn't make the name Sverige because that means Sweden in Swedish as his name. So, or maybe he could, I don't know, maybe because it just looked cool to turn a 3 into an E. But his whole thing on veganism is absolutely fascinating because it's everything to do with when you're not getting enough nutrients from your food, your body will have to extract it from itself, which is why so many vegans, especially raw foodists, are so thin, because they're not getting, you know, all these nutrients or whatever. And then the ones who are fat start to develop in, you know, rebound of estrogen issues or thyroid issues or, you know, the insulin or glucose issues. So, you know, I don't like to mess with that world because that's not my lane. But it was interesting, his channel experiences on the ex-vegans. Excuse me. That was very interesting. So, this is the vegans are like, oh, you're gonna get sick and die and have a heart attack. I was like, I must be a ghost then, because I've been eating this way for like 10 years. So it's just interesting. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Let me see. I don't like myself. I'm not cool. Like Steph, I'm not cool, Albert. Dude, I'm 50. Bruh. Like, I'm 50, turning 51. You out of the cool years. You either cool because you're 51 and you still got it, or you just, like, I'm not cool anymore. It's interesting for me because I'm not cool anymore. I'm just Steph. That you just get into another, like, level. Right? Because when I'm around millennials that care about, like, all these things, I don't give a crap about it. I'm like, do you really care about that? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, never mind, sorry. Oops, I'm older. That matters to you. Doesn't matter to me. Yeah, no, I'm definitely not cool. I'm like a dork. Okay, guys, so thank you for those who stayed the whole way. Thank you so much. You'll be 50 tomorrow. Oh, happy birthday, MKKG. I've been seeing you on my stream. Like I said, there's a lot of people that revisit my streams. Don't forget to push the notification and watch me go live so I can get to know you guys better. Bobby's like, yo, I'm 55. I'm cool too. I look 36. No, I'm not cool, Bobby. No, I'm a dork. Self-proclaimed dork. Alex is like, it's cool. Alex is 52. It is, like, you youngsters that watch my vids, like, I don't know, you just, like, people are so wrapped up in stupid stuff. Like, I'll be around the millennials, they'll be on their phone all the time. I'm like, dude, you are addicted. Like, that stuff matters to you and stuff. Oh, people breaking up and, like, yelling at each other online? That's why I'm like, whoa, cool to me, but I'm 34, and I'm a dork, too. Cool. Happy birthday. No, my birthday's not now. It's in a few weeks. Okay? Okay. I'm not, like, a big birthday person. That's why I don't say the date and all that kind of stuff. I'm just letting people know that I'm not in my 30s or 20s. Like, people might assume that I'm, like, you know, people come to my channel, they will see that I'm a rambling idiot at almost 7 o'clock at night. Okay, Steph's got to stop rambling because I'm a dork. Okay, guys, thank you. Been watching your videos since I was 16, and oh my Lord have mercy, people are growing up with me now. Now you're 20. You went from, like, a teenager to a woman. Or is that a guy or girl? It was a girl, right? Did I get that right? Nature's addiction. Good night, nature's addiction. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Dang, 93 people in the house. Thank you so much. Are you a guy? Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oops. It's just because I can't see. I have to get really close to the screen. Okay, guys, thank you. Now I'm, like, seriously in, like, loopy, I haven't gotten enough sleep, dorkdom mode, have 20 things to do but don't feel like. So you know what I'm doing? I'm avoiding doing stuff tonight by being on the stream too long. 2 hours and 23 minutes? Am I that much of a freaking loser? Okay, guys, good night, sleep tight, and thank you for joining this stuff, and yeah. Subscribe, because I'll be back. When you subscribe and hit that subscribe thing and I go live, you'll be like, boom, Steph is live. Bye, guys. And I'm out. I gotta get out of here. Night, guys. Night. I know, I'm such a dork. It just is.